All right, guys. Looks like we are live.
Woo. Hey, welcome everybody. Women of FWA, our podcast episodes. We've been doing some deep dives into the women involved in the WFWA. We're kind of starting in the leadership, but we'd love all of you women that watch and join the group and engage with us to come forth and get yourself on the list to get in one of these episodes so that we can get to know you better, and so can the industry. We're going to jump pretty well into it, except for that we would like to mention that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we are doing our Friday FWA, #FWA Pink Strong Challenge. Wear some pink, post it, throw the hashtag, and you can end up in the magazine. With that said, today we are doing our deep dive into who's well known, I think, nationwide as Badass Baylee Bierman.
Badass Baylee.
That's me.
I almost feel like I had some kind of theme music prepared for this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Hey, so Baylee, we've kind of been going through these interviews, and in the beginning we'll just ask a couple questions just to start the conversation off. My thoughts were, where are you located? What's the name of the company that you're working with right now? And how old are you?
So we're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Oh, my dogs are going to make noise. I'm sorry. We're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Our company is Corridor Residential Fencing Company. And me and my husband, Colby, are both owner operators in it. It's a pretty small operation, but important nonetheless, you know. And then I'm 26 years old. That was the hardest part of that question, I think, is figuring out how old I am. Good Lord.
I love it. And we can hear you just fine. Sorry, go ahead, Jadira.
I was just saying that you're very young. How long have you kind of been doing fencing for?
So we started in late 2020. We actually had a storm roll through here that it was classified as a derecho is what it's called, but it was like 120 mile an hour straight winds, and they kind of classified as like a land hurricane, which is crazy. And it came out of absolutely nowhere. It was just like this, all of a sudden, a super crazy storm that happened, and it like leveled a whole bunch of fences and stuff in town. And there was only like 2 or 3 like major fencing companies in town. And they wouldn't take on any of like the smaller repairs or anything like that. And so we made our way up there, and we started small with the fencing and stuff. Colby did like woodworking and stuff with his grandpa when he was younger. And so he kind of had like the physical aspect of like building things already, you know, but we hadn't really touched fencing like up until we started. But we have 5 dogs, as you can probably hear in the background throughout this, right? But we had to get our fence back up. It was completely like, I looked out, oh my God, during the storm, I looked out the window and like my fence was like doing this on the ground. And I was like, okay, this is the worst, because taking 5 dogs out on leashes is not fun. So he put our fence up and had some encouragement from some buddies here saying like, we could do this, you know, like you could start something. We've always wanted to start something for ourselves, like not work for other people, and like actually like build something and have something of ours. So we started it up, and I swear to God, started with like just our Jeep that we had and some manual post hole diggers and just a dream, you know. That's all we had to begin with.
That's awesome. And that was what, like 4 years ago?
Yep. Yeah. This will be our 4th. Yep. We're honestly probably right around this time of year, August, September, maybe early September is probably when we actually kicked it off. So yeah, 4 years now. That's nuts.
Good for you guys.
I love how that speaks to your guys' character of like entrepreneurialism. And I think that there's a lot of people nationwide in our listening base that could resonate both with, hey, there's a big storm that just hit, and all the companies that have a solid customer base kind of have their hands full fixing that. So helping everyone else out, you know what I mean, is a good way to get started. I love that. I love that story.
We're little guys helping little
and
guys.
I think that they can also. What's that?
I said
Little
we're the
guys?
little guys helping the
Yeah.
little guys, you know?
Yeah, well, and that's how it's done, right?
Mhm.
So I think that they can also resonate just with that. You said not wanting to work for anyone else, kind of taking things into your own hands. That's the essence of the American dream. So I know a lot of us are on that, war path right now, just beating our drums. So I really love it. Why don't you tell us about kind of where you are currently in the fence industry? What's your role in corridor residential fencing? And, where is that company sitting as far as growth at this moment, to your knowledge?
Yeah, so I at the beginning I wasn't super heavily hands-on involved. I had another job at that full-time job at that point, and then I slowly started to sink my claws a little bit deeper into the company. So at the beginning I was just I had started filing our permits. So really honestly a super easy process where we're at in Cedar Rapids. So I was starting to file our permits. Colby would have me the list of jobs that we have sold. We had it on our calendar, literally just a big whiteboard that we had. We were at Mrs. Jones's house from Tuesday to Thursday, and then we, you know what I mean? And so I got our list from that, and then I sent in our permits, started doing our locating and everything like that. Just super basic stuff. And then in 2022, I think. Yes, 2022. Then I started actually installing, and all of 2022, our busy season, I was full-time installing. So 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, I'd be out there with the guys, and I've kind of just learned everything since then. I've just kept trying. I had never put my hands on a fence. I'd hardly ever held a power tool up until that point, honestly.
Oh my
So it
God.
was Colby, all that he'd learned in the first 2 years started teaching me, and honestly, that's what I prefer to do. I prefer that role in our company. I love installing. I love being able to physically see something come out of what we're building. And I love that our clients have peace of mind with if they get a privacy fence, they know they're going to have their privacy. If it's just a fence to keep their dog in, they know they have that aspect. It feels good to create something out of just some lumber or some wire,
Yeah. That's very, very interesting that you didn't know anything about power tools prior to 2022. It's very recent.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever even held a drill before, let alone operated a saw,
Uh-huh.
Something that's kind of pretty intimidating and scary and could hurt you.
Okay, so we can all learn then. Because I want to learn too.
Yeah. There was I don't know. It was just one time he was all right, you got to use the bandsaw. And I'm like,
What's
pretty scared of that, but I'll do it. And now it's
you got the hang of it pretty quick. I can tell you're a quick study. And I got to watch you work out at demo days. And you were just in your natural zone. What's your favorite part about being out there building a fence hands-on? As I know not to put too much emphasis on as a woman who does it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I do think that you represent some of the women out there that don't get representation. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think my favorite part is just creating something, not just sitting in an office doing spreadsheets, because that's my personal hell. Some people love it, and that's so awesome for them. It's not for me. I feel I go crazy if I'm sitting in the office for several days at a time. I do office work here and there. Obviously, we have to do it to keep our business running, but I can't sit in an office for 8 hours a day, every single day, and feel get fulfillment from that, creating something, physically seeing our drawing come to life, and that the client interaction of them being super grateful that we come in, we do our job well, and they're happy with it. That's what keeps my fire going.
Yeah, and I love that when that happens, that's something that lasts for years, right? Mm-hmm. That's an impact that it's not hey, I made a great impact today, which is awesome, right? But it's something that's going to last throughout their lifetime, become potentially like a staple in their memories.
Yeah.
And we've had, even though we're only 4 years in business, we've had multiple repeat customers and everything like that. So it's a super good feeling to know those people we've built a fence for, we did work for at the beginning, they've moved and now they're calling us back and like just us to like, we want you to do this, you know? It's super cool.
Yeah. Well, I think your guys' character probably comes into play a lot there too, you know, in like conjunction with the quality of your work.
Yeah.
Michaela was asking, do you have a favorite tool or piece of machinery that you like to use just, you know, out when you're doing things? You guys pound posts?
I don't know if I have like a favorite like piece of machinery. I feel like I'm really particular about like my hand tools that I have. So like I wear just like a really simple tool belt that just has like a clip-on pouch on it. And like I have my pliers. Nobody else gets to touch my pliers. I have my little cat's paw that I use, you know what I mean, to get nails out and stuff like that. And I always and like my tape measure. And if everyone touches my tape measure and doesn't bring it back, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's like my pouch is like my lifeline out there because I don't have cargo shorts on that has a bunch of pockets in it. So like I always put like my nuts and bolts in there. But as far as like power tools and stuff, I mean, I like them all. I'm pretty well versed in all of them. We've got a couple circular saws, we've got a couple impacts. I always prefer an impact over a drill. But yeah, we use Milwaukee brand everything now, which is super nice. It's done super well for us the past 2 years. So
yeah. What's your favorite type of fence to install?
I really enjoy doing a wood privacy fence. I think that's kind of been our bread and butter. People up here in Iowa, that's what they want right away. If they want privacy, it's either that or it's like, and then they go to like, maybe we'll do vinyl or maybe it's composite, but we do a lot of, if they're going for privacy, it's almost always like a 6-foot high cedar dog-eared fence.
Mm-hmm. You guys do staining as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've done a couple staining jobs this year. We actually just finally got around to staining our fence and our deck at home.
It looked beautiful. I think it was you or Colby who posted some pictures, and it looks stunning.
Yes, and we use Expert Stain and Steel. We love them. Ashley and Caleb over at Expert. They're so good. Their stuff is so good. It's fun. That's another part of it. It's like you get to like keep doing these things to this thing that you create, right? Like you can stain it and it's now brand new, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Big deal. Definitely.
Yes.
So let's jump into what you did before fences. I will say though, just on that note, that I love how people who work with their hands seem to get, you know, kind of territorial over their tools. We had a buddy also in the fence industry who had his pliers that were his, and they were like full metal pliers, old school style, and they lasted a long time. And 1 year they busted on him, the handle snapped, and so yeah, we ended up taking it to a friend and having them weld it into like the shape of a deer, and it's
that's so cool.
The antlers, and had it be like a key hook things and stuff on, just because it was sentimental. So I just love that about people that work with their hands, that we get sentimental about our tools in a way.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get to, you know, you've been with Corridor, you said at least 4 years. So what is it that you did before getting into fencing?
Yeah, so I have been in the service industry, the hospitality industry for about 10 years now. I have worked in I've worked in restaurants and like catering businesses since I was 15, 16 years old. My aunt and uncle actually opened a restaurant in my hometown in, I don't know, 10 years ago, whenever that was. 20, I'm not even going to pretend to know. But I worked there for a couple of years, served and everything, worked in the restaurant, and then moved over here to Cedar Rapids in 2016. And I've actually been working at a hotel here in town that is a part of the community college here in town. So they built the hotel as like a teaching hotel. And I still work there a few days a week now. I've been working there for I just celebrated my 8-year anniversary there. So been there for a while. I love the people there and everything. And it's kind of nice to have like a day or two there to kind of separate out my brain when it comes to working. So it's not all fence 25/8 and it's like some interaction with these other people over here, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Keeps you in the monotony crash.
Yeah. And the hotel is super cool because it's a, like I said, it's a teaching hotel. So we actually, like, I work in the restaurant inside of the hotel, should specify. I manage the restaurant, I serve in the restaurant, and then I bartend as well at the bar in the lobby. But we also have students come through, and the two programs that they do at the hotel is the culinary arts program and hospitality arts program. And so they do kind of like their clinical hours, their hands-on training in the restaurant and in other areas of the hotel, but I only do the restaurant stuff. So not only is it like hospitality service, serving, bartending, it's also teaching at the same time, which is pretty unique.
Yeah. I love that. That is incredibly unique. And culinary, you said, in hospitality arts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I never would have thought, somebody would go do that hands-on, like, hey, this is a hotel. Like you hear about teaching hospitals, but I think that's
how they modeled. That's how they modeled the premise after totally. Was like nurses.
And you're doing that now as well as.
Yeah. I'm doing that part-time still, but still obviously all of the time full-time fencing. I'm just there like 2 days a week or something like that when they need me.
That's awesome. And Baylee, where were you born?
That's awesome.
I was still born in Iowa, so still same around here. But I was actually born in a town called Ames, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from here. And then I grew up in a town. I actually grew up I always tell people I'm from Marshalltown area because that's like the closest larger town to where I'm from. But I don't even think you guys know this. I'm actually from a town. It's called Laurel, Iowa. And it has a population of about 240 people. So that's where I grew up from the time I was born to when I was 18 and I moved out.
Wow. And that's in Iowa?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 15 minutes away from where we're at now. But yeah, super, super tiny. My graduating class of high school was less than 60.
Wow.
Yeah, so like really, really small scale, really, really small town living.
Yeah. I currently live in a town of a population of 800 people. Always been a small town person myself. Yeah. I did make it to Iowa a couple of years ago. I was traveling for some work doing some public speaking. Nice. And that was the first time I ever saw fireflies.
Oh, really? That's nuts.
I was like, whoa, they're everywhere. It was raining and I was just sitting out on the steps looking at them like, oh my goodness. It was, something you guys probably see all the time. And we're like, oh, bug. But yeah, it was my like one big memory from Iowa with the fireflies. So. Also super green and that's a farm area. And I did get to eat at the machine shed.
Nice. That's a good spot. Together for Father's Day.
We had a business dinner there, and I thought it was a classy pick.
Hell yeah.
So, cool. So before we go into the next question, if you don't mind, I just thought we should do some announcements. I read an article that mentioned if you do all your announcements at the beginning of the podcast, sometimes people are like, I don't want to hear all your stuff right now. I just wanted to hear the podcast. So we jumped right into it. We did want to announce that on top of it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the hashtag FWA Pink Strong Friday spotlights for a spot in the magazine, it is also October, which means Halloween. So we are having a costume party, which is open to everyone, probably not kids because, we don't want so much noise and things like that. But we're going to do about doing like some Mad Libs and some fun games like that. So it'll be casual, it'll be social, it'll be a fun time to connect with the women of the FWA and, different people in the industry. So kind of a fun networking opportunity. I know that you guys are freezing on my screen. I don't know how bad I am on your screen, but Yadira, do you have any announcements that you wanted to mention?
No, but I just wanted to reiterate the date and time for that social. So I think it was October 30th, which is one day before Halloween, the 31st, which is Wednesday. Tiffany, do you know exact time?
Oh, she disappeared.
Oh, you lost her.
I think it's oh, is she come back? I know we sent the flyer out already. I think it's either 6:30 or 7:30.
Okay.
And I want to say, oh, I can't remember. Honestly, I'm so sorry.
It's hard because the audio is switching a little bit for me on my end. But I do know that we're posting it in the group and we're all going to be sharing it. There's a flyer with all the information on it. So you can definitely get the right time. Also, I believe Michaela put together an event page. So we'll be inviting everyone. Susan has sent a mass email to the FWA members. So there should be ample opportunities to get the information. It is definitely on the 30th at some time in the evening.
Yes, in the evening. I love it.
Are we still doing the fundraiser for Florida?
That is still going on if you wish
Susan
to donate.
was working on supplies and
Michaela's coming in clutch with the actual time. She said October 30th, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Official.
There we go.
What would you do without anyone who knows what's going on? we all kind of just, all of us ladies just kind of like form one piece of information at a time, but we have to all work together really hard to do it.
Yes. So Baylee, before Tiffany, I think we keep losing her, but why was I thinking you lived in Hawaii? Did somebody tell me you lived in Hawaii or?
Oh, Colby lived in Hawaii for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't grow up there. He moved there with his parents split up. He moved there with his mom when he was, I want to say like 9 or 10.
Okay.
Lived there for like 5 years, I think.
Okay.
And then moved back over here. Actually, might be a little longer. He might have lived there for like 8 years or so. Moved back here for culinary school, which is how we met, because he was going to school at the hotel where I worked at. And so he worked there for a little bit, but we didn't ever work together. And then after he had left there, then we started seeing each other. He invited me to come see the dogs, and then I just kind of never left his house, I think is what happened, because the puppies, obviously. But yeah, he did live in Hawaii for a number of years, and I think it's still one of our goals to go back there because he loves it. He loves the cuisine and everything like that. We're big into food. I don't know if you can tell that, but we love our food, and he loves finding. We actually found a good spot. Did you know that spot that we went to in Vegas? I don't remember what it's called. It was like a Hawaiian.
L&L.
Yes. Oh, it was so good.
I love that place. My husband doesn't, but sometimes when I just need some space and I don't care about what he eats or where he eats, that's like my spot to go to.
It was so good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it too.
Well, I'm glad I got to catch that. I didn't even know that Hawaii was a factor. But if you guys go and you're looking for like, a commune kind of setting, I think that there's several people in our group that would mob to Hawaii with you guys. And with their dogs.
Definitely.
For sure.
I think I corrected my internet issue, so hopefully it should be good for the next 5-10 minutes while we wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that. Final announcements there, right, was there's still the fundraiser for Florida happening. I know that Susan had talked about a potential clothing drive happening soon. And so that's something that we're all still preparing for. we also wanted to announce briefly that we are still selling our Women of FWA t-shirts and pullover hoodies, as well as those really awesome fork-latch necklaces. And all proceeds will go towards our Building Better Leadership retreat that we're going to host in 2025. So, you know, anything that you throw in there not only looks really cool on you, but it goes towards bettering the industry. So don't wait on that. I think outside of just mentioning that the, Fence Week is coming up and things like that soon, we can jump back into Baylee. What is it you intend to be doing in the near future? Are you going to carry on this Batman style life where you are a fencer by day and a hotel professor by evening? Or, do you have different things in mind?
Yeah, so I guess the goal has always been for both of us to be full time in fencing, in our business. We built this business. We want to be fully, both of us, 100%, 150% in this business. We want to build this up to where it's like a legacy, right? Like this is our baby. This is our lifeblood. So I want to be in it 100% for sure.
Love it. I really feel like you guys are kind of poster children of like fencers in America, I don't know, lots of respect. And I think that that's a mutual thing industry wide for anyone that gets the opportunity to interact with you guys and just pick up on that energy.
Definitely. I think rooting for you.
Definitely. I was supposed to ask, I had 3 favorite questions, one of which was, what's your favorite fence type to install? So since we got that one out of the way, we can jump right into, what is your favorite character trait in a person?
I think like genuineness. What is that? Like being real 100%. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to have to put my mask on around you. I don't want you to have to put a mask up around me. I want everyone to be real and to be themselves, Yeah,
I love that. I think that we like, or at least trending words out there, genuine and authenticity and things like that.
But authenticity, that's the word.
Yeah, right. When it comes down to it, that's kind of the ability to be vulnerable in front of other people, right? If you're authentic, like we're all humans, we're all struggling with our own different things. It's a little bit vulnerability in the public space. And so kudos to you for being the kind of person that you admire, because we just did a deep dive into your life. I love it.
And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's when the cameras are all on you, there's some pressure involved.
Yeah, right.
I had asked everyone at the Vegas show what their favorite song was, just because I love to get to know people through their playlists. And when asking you, Baylee, you mentioned that you don't listen to as much music because you are knowledge hungry and you pursue podcasts.
I do. I love. That's like, instead of like putting on I'll still listen to music here and there, but I feel like instead of like gravitating toward music in the car, I always put on a podcast instead. And I actually really, really like it's not like, I do like a true crime paranormal podcast right now that they actually delve more into like the law side of these cases that they go over. And so it's super cool how like they dissect these cases and like how it didn't fall apart in court or how it did. And it's just, I don't know, it's super interesting for me. It wakes my brain up instead of lulling me to sleep if I'm on a long drive.
I love it. What's the name of the podcast?
It's the one I'm listening to right now is called Sinisterhood. So like sisterhood, but like creepy stuff, It's really fun. And they do all sorts of stuff as far as like paranormal stuff. They go over like, I don't know. And then they go over like super like they've done all the big true crime stuff, but they also do like they cover smaller cases too. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Yeah, That's super cool. I love that. I love that you are constantly not only out there enjoying working in the elements with your hands and building physical muscle that it takes to, accommodate that, but when you're not building, and maybe when you are building physical muscle, you're also building your brain matter. So that's the last thing I'll say, because I know you're going to start blushing. But just damn. Okay, well, there we go. That pretty much wraps it up, guys. So that's why we call her Badass Baylee Bierman.
Badass Baylee.
Nice. Heather gets in trouble for watching that stuff. 50 Shades of Grey suits. Nice. Okay, well, and I think Susan would be proud of us because it's 5:01, so we are almost exactly on time.
I love it.
Not cracking the whip at this point. So, any last words, I guess, Yadira, before we leave? Anything you want to throw out there?
Thank you guys for taking the time to do this, and it's been interesting kind of every week getting to know each one of us on a more deeper personal level, and what we like to do and what our goals are for the future. So thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, I love that getting into the who and the why really kind of builds a picture of the industry for us. Like,
definitely,
these are the kind of people involved in the fence industry. If you happen upon this industry, you cannot get out of it because you don't want to. It's amazing. Baylee, your last question. Do you have like a favorite quote or like words of wisdom that ring in your head that you would put out to the entire global, worldwide audience?
Honestly, what I live by is fake it till you make it. 100%. I didn't know what I was doing when I started, but here I am now. I pretty much know what I'm doing. I'm still learning, and I'll stay still learning up until forever,
Always.
That's my goal. I just always want to keep learning. That's why we go to these shows. That's why we go to these trainings.
Yeah, right? In the essence of faking it, you're putting that best foot forward in the direction you want to be in. So
for sure. Always keep learning.
Words. All right, ladies, let's stop being live.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys next week, same time, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Bye.
Sounds good. See you guys.